too fast. I'm taking 3.
I'm going for the St. Louis now.
Oh no!
Son of a bitch.
You get your 2?
Yeah. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thotgor here, of course. Today we're going to take a look at a battle I had in my Tirpitz. Yes. So as you know, I don't show very many battleship replays of myself, that is, simply because I'm not great in battleships, right? So this was a really surprising match. Basically, I loaded into this match in the Tirpitz for 2 reasons. The first one being I won a victory because I'm working on the battleship Pearl missions, right? I only have a few more victories on that left. And the second reason why I wanted to run the Tirpitz today was just because I wanted some extra money, right? Tirpitz is a great money maker, so that was my whole purpose of coming into this battle. No real expectations here either. So you can see I started over way on the east, and I'm immediately going to turn and get myself over to the west, right? I figure that that's where I'm going to be most needed. As a benefit to that, I do find that, you know, the enemy ships, right, the ones that don't go over to the west side there, they'll probably come over to the east, right? And as I'm working my way over to the west, hopefully I'll be able to put some shots into them. That's the plan. I mean, obviously if the team decides that they're not going to be going on the west side, obviously I'm going to be turning around, right? But for now, this is the direction I'm going to go in. I'm at least going to group up with my allies here, see what they are all about, and then make any further decisions from there, basically. So you can see as well that the enemy team does have some tier 9s on them. Like we see the Izumo in the background, but not many tier 9s, right? The majority of the ships here are 8s and 7s, so just in my tier range as well. It doesn't really matter though with the bigger ships facing off against the Tirpitz, right? The Tirpitz is a fantastic battleship, really. The biggest thing I find that makes it so great is just because the citadels are really hard to hit on a Tirpitz, so the enemies really have to work you down in order to actually get you gone and actually to kill you. So that's, you know, one of the reasons why the Tirpitz is just so great. It's a hard ship to kill, and that it should be, right? It's a battleship, and it's a German battleship at that, and we know that the German battleships in the game anyway, you know, obviously once the tree is introduced, but we're told and we get the impression that the German battleships are going to be you know, really well armored. They may not have the biggest caliber guns, but they are going to be very well armored, so that's fantastic. And even though the Tirpitz may not have the biggest caliber guns, the guns hit like a train. They do a whole bunch of damage when you can land the shots properly as well. Taking a look, we're coming into the center of the map, basically, where the B point would be, and we do start seeing a lot of enemy ships, right? And they're doing exactly what I suspected as well, except they're going in the opposite direction, basically. I figured that the enemy ships would be going west to east, but instead it looks like this group here, anyway, is going east to west. It's so fantastic. That's the same direction I'm going in, so why not take some pot shots off at these people while we're getting ourselves into position. You'll see that they do have a number of battleships out there. North Carolina, there's a Tirpitz, there's another one, so you know, there's quite a few enemy ships out there that can do quite a bit of damage to me as well. Oh yeah, that's in Iowa, the 3rd battleship there, and then of course their cruiser support of the New Orleans. So really a good group over there, but I'm just not going to worry about them too much. As long as I don't get you know, really pounded down by the enemy battleships out there, I can continue along here as I'm going. The enemy battleships didn't even take any shots off at me, which was pretty surprising. Well, actually, there's a shot that came off at me, but, you know, missed me, so no big deal there. Now, we do see the Tirpitz, or sorry, the Izumo, right? Yes, so we're going to start putting shots into this Izumo, because he's running away. He's going to the east, you know, going in that direction, and he's giving me an excellent broadside, right? So I immediately start putting shots into this guy. Just want to see what I can do to him, maybe get the Izumo gone. The Izumo is a pretty big threat. The guns on that Izumo are amazing. Now that salvo was pretty great, got a nice citadel hit out of that, so that is not too shabby at all, so enjoyed that. And yeah, I'm back to the Izumo here. I mean, it is a decent battleship. I mean, she has great guns on her. They are awkwardly placed, I know. But what the Izumo doesn't seem to have is armor, especially on the side, which is pretty surprising. I find it pretty surprising because the Izumo hull almost basically looks like the Yamato hull, so you would figure that the armor would be relatively the same, but no, it's not. The Izumo just doesn't seem to have very much armor at all. Anyway, more salvos going into the Izumo. I think this is my third salvo now that I've put into him, so the second salvo didn't do too much damage, but the third salvo is about to land. There we go. Yeah, decent damage, right? And the Izumo's down down by a significant amount of health. So that's not too shabby at all. So if we can keep putting shots into this guy, maybe get him gone. We can take a look at the mini-map there as well. We can see that there are a lot of enemy ships grouped up over here on the west, right? This does seem to be where the majority of the enemy forces are, so this is probably going to be where I'm going to be sticking around most of the time, right? There is another Citadel hit on the Izumo, so that is fantastic. He is almost dead now at this point. If we can just keep pounding away at him, maybe some of my cruisers could set him on fire. That way, you know, if he does repair, he'll just continue to take damage, so that would be awesome. You do see that I do have some friendly torpedoes on the way to the Izumo as well, so fantastic. My destroyers are, you know, paying attention here. It's just the Izumo obviously is not going to hit those torpedoes, right? Maybe he was going slower when the destroyers sent off those torpedoes, but whatever. At least it'll freak out the Izumo a little more, make him keep going on the same course, right? He won't be able to turn back. So the Izumo's over there, almost dead, but I'm going to switch to this Pensacola, because the Pensacola came right around this corner. He's giving me a great broadside, so why not take this opportunity and see if I can't get some kills, or see if I can't get him killed here. So that first salvo did pretty good damage. I was fairly surprised, actually. I didn't get a Citadel on the Pensacola, but I think it was about 7,000 damage, maybe a little more. So that's not bad at all for the Pensacola, and you can see the Pensacola has paid a huge price for coming around that corner, giving a broadside to my whole team here. Yeah, he is almost dead. There is an Thotgor in the background, so we're going to line up on this guy. In the meantime, there's the Izumo, right? He's sinking, so he's been taken out, so that is fantastic. We don't need to worry about the Izumo anymore. Putting shots into the old Thotgor there off in the distance, get a nice Citadel hit on that guy, take out his engines, so force him to use his repair, and ideally as well his heal, right? Because he's down to about half health now in that one salvo, so hopefully he'll use that, but he pops in behind cover, so I'm not going to be able to get any more shots off at him. You'll notice as well that while this was going on, I'm maneuvering around, I'm turning my ship, so I'm going to be facing the east now, and basically going to set myself up for another strafing run from from west to east. Ideally here as well, if you know things don't turn out as well, I'm in a good position to go back to the base and defend it, because you'll notice that there is an enemy ship near our base, right? I do have some ally ships over there, so I'm not overly concerned. In fact, they just took out that enemy, so fantastic. And I just got another Citadel hit as well, so excellent. More damage for me, right? And hopefully the enemy ship that I Citadeled, I can't recall what it was, but hopefully as well, you know, he's going to go down soon. Okay, so it was a Pensacola I'd Citadeled, and he's down to about half health, so fantastic. We're putting another full salvo into the Pensacola here, see if we can get another nice hit, maybe get this guy gone. Yeah. No Citadels in that salvo, but did a bit of damage to him. So alright, I'll take it. Whatever, doesn't matter. Get set on fire. Obviously, we're going to repair that right away. Don't need that fire to burn away at me. Pensacola is turning, so we're going to line up some more torpedoes on him here. He's giving me a nice broadside, but you know he's not exactly turned parallel to me, so you need to adjust for that when you're firing back at him, right? Usually just going a little above him will work. He got really lucky there, though. Those all missed him. Couldn't believe that, but yeah, they all missed him. Oh well, no big deal. There is I think that is a Mogami that just fired at me. I was pretty concerned about the Mogami because he has some great range, and you know, he does have the 155s on, and he's probably going to set me on fire as well. So another ship sets me on fire here. Yeah, no big deal. There's the Thotgor that I got the Citadel on a while ago. So we're going to put another salvo into that guy, see if we can't do some more damage to him here. Maybe even kill him, who knows. Yeah. One shell hit and did, what was it, 1180 damage or something, so that's not too great. But okay, alright, no big deal. There's a Pensacola once again. See if we can't get this guy gone now. This lucky Pensacola, right? He's been dodging my shots most of the game now. But if I can just get maybe one more nice citadel into him, that'll really take him down, and you know, maybe even I might get the kill, or one of my allies might get the kill, so that'd be great. So the salvo I put into him didn't do a whole lot, right? He's still alive. One of my allies, though, was firing at him as well, and managed to do more damage than I did, so he's down to really low health now at this time. So really, if we can just get one more hit into him, maybe I can kill him here. So there goes those shells. Just speculative, right? Because he disappeared, and I just shot them where I assumed he would be when he completes the turn. So there goes the shots. Fantastic. I kill him. Excellent. So that's my first kill. Not too bad. Taking a look around at some other enemy ships here, we want to assess, you know, obviously what the biggest threat is to us, what enemy ship is closest. Luckily, there aren't any enemy ships that are close. You can see the enemy ships are keeping their distance. It's really just aircraft that are coming in right now, but we seem to have some fairly decent AA coverage right now anyway, so it's not necessarily that big of a deal for us just yet. I'm turning myself back over to the west side so I can start putting more shots into these guys here as well. There is the Iowa. So lining up in the Iowa, I wanted to try and do some damage to the Iowa because that is a pretty big threat. The Iowa, you know, she's a pretty big battleship and can do a whole lot of damage and can take quite a bit of damage as well. So I don't really want to tangle against the Iowa. Ideally, if I can get him gone at range, that would be best. So I did hit him with a few shots, but didn't really do a whole lot of damage, right? It's just they didn't land quite where I wanted them to. So okay, alright, now he's moving behind cover. Out pops a Tirpitz, so we're going to line up on the Tirpitz because my guns are reloaded now. See if I can't get some damage into the Tirpitz here. Maybe help my team take this guy down. Tirpitz is another big threat as well, right? We talked about at the beginning reasons why I like the Tirpitz. You know, citadels are really hard to get. So I did decent damage in that salvo. I think that was about 11,000 damage I did. Obviously no citadels though, right? Do a bit more damage there with the rear turrets, but again, no citadels. Not surprising, it is a Tirpitz, right? They're hard to get. Now we're lining up in the New Orleans. The New Orleans is giving me a nice broadside, so I was really hoping to do a whole bunch of damage to this guy with my incoming salvos, but unfortunately they just didn't hit him. Well, one hit him and did like, what, 1160 damage or something like that, so nothing really, but oh well, whatever. New Orleans is in behind cover now, so switching targets once again, going back to the Iowa, because the Iowa's out of cover now, so I can get some good shots into him as well. I do have some friendly battleships around me as well, some American battleships. So you can see that they're basically just keeping themselves nose on to the target, firing their bow guns and presenting as small a target as possible while in a slow reverse here as well. It's a tactic I see often. Whether or not it works, yeah, not 100% sure. It definitely does work with your Yamatos, right? When you're in a Yamato and you're facing off against other tier 10s. At this tier 8, tier 9, I don't know if it works. It might. It probably does. I don't know. Anyway, more shots into the enemy battleship in the distance here. We're going to try, like I say, continue to try and do something about this guy. You can see as well that for the majority of this battle, I am staying quite a ways away from the enemy, right? I'm using my range to my advantage. Generally speaking, I'm between about 15 to 20 kilometers away from the enemy. Now, this is an ideal situation for a battleship, but you got to be careful when you're doing this because you really don't want to get lost at those ranges and find yourself completely out of position. So really try to keep a close eye on your team and the flow of the battle, because you're not going to do anyone any good if you're staying way in the back of the map sniping the enemies. If your team is up there trying to cap the enemy base, right, like my team sort of is right now, they're kind of making some moves into the enemy base right now, so this is the opportunity and this is the chance here where you don't want to just stay in the back. You want to start thinking about moving up, especially when you're in your battleship, because at the end of the day, the allies who are capping that enemy base up there, they need battleship support. They need it. especially in this situation where there are quite a few enemy ships remaining, right? They need the heavy guns of your battleship to be up there and to support them. So that is what I'm trying to do right now. You can see that I'm moving closer to the battle right now. It's the enemy battleships here. This guy, this Iowa, he's the one that's putting a lot of pressure on my allies who are capturing the base, so he's the one I'm going to be focusing. Just so happens that the enemy Iowa grounds himself. Yes, this was a huge mistake. I don't know what this guy was doing. So my plan was fire off the battle guns like I just did, wait for the Iowa to fire at me. Got a nice citadel there as well, but wait for him to fire at me. Then I would turn, excuse me. Then I would turn and I would fire my rear guns, right, limiting the broadside that I give him. That was the plan. But the enemy Iowa doesn't actually fire. I don't know what he's doing. He might be focused on the destroyer near him. Maybe he's focused on some other ship, but he wasn't focused on me. So, okay, all right. Fire another salvo into him there. Get a nice citadel, and do a whole bunch of damage to that guy. There's an enemy cruiser. Launch off some torpedoes just in case he does decide to turn and come around the little headland there. I'll be in a good position to take him out. The enemy Iowa is gone now at this point. We can see the enemy New Orleans off in the distance. He's burning and he's about to die any second now. He'll be gone as well, so that is good. And I'm moving up, right? I'm coming through this channel, maybe going to the B cap, but anyway, I'm moving up now to help support the allies that are putting pressure on the enemy base, right? At this point in the battle, when you're in a battleship, you do no one any good if you're just in the back sniping. You need to actually get closer in, so that you can get, those really nice citadel shots on the enemy ships and do a whole bunch of damage as well. That is what you want to accomplish here. So shots are on their way out for the North Carolina off in the distance. We can see them there. It was my bow guns. Now I'm firing my rear guns. Bow guns go in, get some nice citadel hits, do a bunch of damage. North Carolina goes down. In the process, I've earned myself a high caliber and a Confederate medal. Fantastic. That was really awesome. So we're going to size up some other enemy ships here. We can see the Thotgor. He's still going, right? So we're going to fire off into him, but I wasn't paying attention. Fired right into the mountain. Oh well. We'll just wait till I get beyond the mountain, and then we'll fire our guns off again. See if we can't do some damage to this Thotgor, right? Maybe get this guy gone. And it's the same Thotgor we were firing at earlier that I got the citadel hit on. He's still going, right? He wasn't playing... he wasn't just out there to die, I should say. So, yeah. There we go, shots off to the Thotgor. In the meantime, I'm going to get myself into position to go and move into the actual B cap point, right? Start helping my allies literally cap the point, and ideally as well, where I'm a battleship. Hopefully the enemies will focus on me, try to get me down while my allies are busy capping away, right? That's the plan. And that's what you should be prepared for too when you're playing a battleship. You are obviously going to be the one absorbing a lot of damage, right? That should go without saying. There's the Tirpitz in the background as well behind the Thotgor, so I put a full salvo into this Tirpitz. We're going to see if we can't get this guy gone with that salvo there. Yeah, couldn't get him gone, but did a significant amount of damage, so that's great. Do have some torpedoes on the way, and we can see that there's a Fubuki in the distance, so we know that those torpedoes most likely are going to travel quite far. So I'm not going to chance it and hope that they run out of fuel before they get to me. I'm going to avoid them right now, right? So I turned away from them, but in the meantime doesn't mean I can't continue to fire at the enemy. Torpedoes are gone, so that is good. Tirpitz is gone as well. It's my second kill. Fantastic. Now we're going to turn and get ourselves into the cap here. Start capping away. Now the enemies only have 4 ships remaining, right? They've got the Thotgor here that we're firing upon. They have 2 destroyers. I think it's a Fubuki and a Mahan that they have. And then they also have an aircraft carrier as well. So no real big deal. Just kind of concerned where the destroyers are. We do see an enemy destroyer way down there in the south. You can see him down there. He was hunting down our aircraft carrier, but our aircraft carrier was smarter than that guy. Managed to kill the Thotgor as well, so that is fantastic. Just 2 destroyers and the enemy aircraft carrier remaining. So there's 1 destroyer. We can see him. We can see where the second destroyer is, way down there in the south, so that's not too bad. It's just a matter of where the enemy aircraft carrier is. I'm not 100% sure where he is at all, and I'm not necessarily necessarily, excuse me, not necessarily looking for him to try and kill him. I just wanted to know where he was so that I can anticipate any sort of planes coming in, right, to try to reset the cap. Because especially now where we just took out that destroyer, that's really the biggest thing that I'm concerned about is airstrike from the aircraft carrier. What if the aircraft carrier comes in here and resets our cap, right? That would be unfortunate. So only 20 seconds, or well, 22 thereabouts seconds remaining to the battle, and then we've won. We can see the aircraft are now coming in, so we know that the enemy aircraft carrier is going to be up here in the north, probably, you know, in the center of the map here as well. So I'm just going to position myself to potentially take a few shots off at him, if that is in fact the case. Hopefully as well these aircraft coming in don't manage to do anything, but they don't, of course. Battle over, we win. Fantastic. So take a look at these results. Not too shabby at all. You know, 673,000 credits, 8,300 experience. The high caliber Confederate were awesome, and the number of citadels. Overall damage, or overall, sorry, top of the team, right? 2,700 base experience. That's not too bad. Look at the damage number though, 203,000 damage. That is what I managed to do in this battle. This is now the best battle I've ever had in terms of damage done. I've never done this much damage in a battle, and that's partly why I wanted to show the video today as well, because I thought this was amazing. Couldn't believe it. Right, I even had to go back and take a look again just to make sure. 203,000 damage done. Fantastic. I was really ecstatic with this battle, and I did not expect it at all, but obviously with the amount of citadel hits that I got in that match, to be expected, I suppose. Anyway, that is today's video. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, leave any comments you have for me there in the video comment section below. I love reading those and responding back to them. Hit the old like button if you did like today's video. Hit subscribe if you are not a subscriber. And as always, I do hope you enjoy the rest of your day.